So as we're laying here on the ground, start to allow some good deep breaths to flow. Let it go in. Let it release back out easy. Feel a moment of comfort, almost like we've got the earth just kind of hugging around us. Like sometimes when I've been to a beach, you see people bury people up to a certain point of comfort, maybe up to the neck or up to the chest or something, like kind of create those mermaid legs. And there's kind of a special comfort that comes when you're kind of just hugged and embraced by the earth like that. It's like she's very heavy, and it's almost like a weighted blanket where that heaviness is actually really comforting. And also just something about being hugged like that, all those acupressure points being simultaneously activated. There's something about it that just feels comfortable. So here, as we take a couple of really good deep breaths in and out, imagine we've kind of got that hug of Mother Earth around us getting set up. And especially in strengthening classes, it's almost like our energy is like static electricity that starts to fling out in all directions sometimes. It's like we have to keep going and keep moving, and sometimes the energy gets really erratic. So notice whenever we're trying to calm down electricity, what we do is we ground it. And so connecting with this embrace of Mother Earth right now teaches us what that grounding sensation feels like, so that we can return to it anytime we take breaks, or anytime it feels like your energy is just too much, too stretched out. And as we're moving through our class, imagine that we're like a little root system. So especially we'll be working, including things for our feet and for our legs, making sure those areas have plenty of activity going on as well. But more than anything, really help yourself ground your root down into the earth, down into this comforting and kind of heavy, slow experience. So just embrace this hug for 2 more breaths before we get started. Good. So from here, let's begin to take the knees into the chest. As we take a hand onto each knee, let the low back have a chance to rock around left and right. Chance to start introducing some movement to the body, nothing too intense yet. Just as an easy warm-up, kind of a first thing that we're taking today, what we're going to do is bicycles, but especially including our feet in the bicycles. So start with both hands around the left knee, right leg extends up to sky, the toes are flexed. Keep it flexed as you lower the leg down, and then you'll point the toes whenever the knee comes back in, hands switch sides. So flex to be up to sky, flex to lower down, point to come back in. Nice inhale, exhale whenever you're lowering and pointing. So this is something where to add in that aspect of the toes absolutely can kind of become a mental thing for the, like too much for the brain to focus on, like 2 different things at the same time. So if you need to go slower to really think to yourself, flex and point, that's fine. If you want to pick up the speed at any point, you're welcome to. Just keep the toes pushing like it's that last little oomph on a pedal of a bicycle. And if you even want to completely take away the hands, that would be another option to make it harder. So I love Yogilates for all the levels of difficulty we can add. And you get to choose where your body's at today. So going with this good bicycle, the feet really being active. Let's take another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So knees are back in. Let it rock just a little bit, left and right. Good. Spread the arms open to each side, left and right. Try to allow the knees to be glued together, toes glued together. The toes lift up to about the level where the knees are. And then tilt your knees partway to one side. Inhale. Exhale, straighten out to that side. Inhale, we're still on that side, but the knees bend. Exhale, come back through the center. So 2 full breaths for one side. So inhale, tilt. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. Exhale, return. So the reason why we're holding there a little bit longer is because that makes a whole new type of core control to have to hold the weight rather than just swing like a pendulum the whole time. You get to choose how far down you tilt. Further is obviously going to be harder. Know that because we have the extension, that creates some torque in the low back. So don't feel like you're needing to force anything too far. It's just to a comfort level for our body, whatever we feel like we have the strength to maintain through several repetitions like this. If you want to add even one more aspect of difficulty, keep the legs extended out for a full breath cycle. When the inhale starts again, the knees bend, exhale to return. So that's an option if you want. Just holding it there is quite difficult. In fact, if you'd like to, and you don't have to keep this swinging if you'd like, but if you'd like to, we'll all take the next extension together for a count of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the knees, come back through the center, tilt to the other side, and extend out. A count of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good work. Bend the knees, come through the center. Let's rest our feet down to the ground. We're taking one more little activity thing before we take a nice first stretch for our body. So with this one, especially with the toes lifted like that, that can feel very ungrounding because it's like static electricity just shooting out. So for this bridge pose that we're taking, rather than focusing on the rolling up of the vertebrae, which is what I still want you to do, rather than focus on that, we're focusing on pushing the foot into the ground to create the lift. So it's a nice inhale the whole time that you're rolling up. Exhale the whole time you're rolling back down. And just feel the sensation of feet on the earth. When we push down to create the lift, feel how it's almost like just comforting for that foot to be so solidly on the earth. And when we roll back down, less and less and less weight is on the foot until it's almost nothing. Good. So if you're doing okay here, we're taking another 5, slowly up and down. 4, another 3, and 2, Last time that we come up, stay lifted, even clasping hands under your back if the reach is easy. From here, we're gonna take some heel lifts. So it's not slamming the heels up and down, it's a slow lift up and then slow lowering down. So we'll take up to 10. If you wanna stop at 5 or so, that's perfectly fine. So we're about at 8, 7, 6. So here's 5, 4, 3. So much strength in the foot. Here's 2. Last one, if you're still here. If the heels go down, release the hands, roll hips to earth. And just shimmy the hips left and right a couple of times. Those glutes definitely were keeping us up there. Good. So let's connect back to feet and take some stretches that are well deserved. Slide the left leg long for a moment. The right foot swivels in so that we can just give a little squeeze to the toes. A squeeze to the surface area of the ball of foot. Squeezes all the way down the arch and down the heel. And a half happy baby when you're ready. Right foot grabs the, right hand grabs the outside of right foot. Movement is perfectly welcome. Kind of rocking that hip to help it be a little bit more open is fine. Straightening and bending, leg up to sky is fine. Or stillness can also be beautiful. So wherever we're at, take another couple of breaths, maybe 3 more. We release the foot. Right foot makes contact with the earth to slide far away. Just a breath here, feeling all that extra circulation on right side. So as we leave right leg, swivel the left foot in, give it some squeezes through the toes. Squeezes through ball of foot. Squeezes down the arch of the foot. And down the heel. Have happy baby if and when you feel ready. Stillness, rocking, straightening and bending, all are good choices. Let another huge breath flow in. Out, left foot on the earth, slide it away. As the legs are resting down, we're feeling that embrace of earth. Separate the legs a little bit away from each other and bring the arms up overhead like an X. Again, imagine just a brief moment, a hug from Mother Earth, just to kind of keep our energy going, keep things flowing well. So from here, this next movement is moving away from gravity and then slowly, slowly returning back down. So it's a quick lift up of right leg and left arm to the center, straight arm, straight leg, and then it's very slow lowering back down. Try to see if you can get hand and foot to drop down, touching earth at the same moment. Whenever you're finished, exhale for second side, quick up. Inhale, slow lowering down. It's really, really hard to get arm and leg at the same time, but try and try to calibrate your body. So each time it's a little bit closer to that drop at the same moment. Good. Feel how that journey to the earth is. That slow drop leaves a huge chance to just take a nice inhale. Really, really inflating the lungs. So if we're doing okay, let's take another 5 each side. And 5. 4. 4. 3. 3. 2. 2. Like, trust me when I say this is working the core really good. Just slowly build the control. 1 and 1. When you rest back down, take that sigh of relief. The core getting this chance to have a little break. So then from here, when legs start to slide together, take the hands behind the back of the head. You're welcome to thread them together, lifting the head up. What we're going to do here is take the left knee in and the right elbow twist to that left knee. Right leg hovers above the ground. And again, focusing on the foot, whenever we switch, it's a point to reach and do a flex to return. Point and flex. Adding just a little bit more activity through the feet. It's crazy how our shoes don't allow much movement through the feet at all. Sometimes, some types of shoes, especially those that cost a lot to try to make the foot comfortable, sometimes it's almost like a cast for the foot. And the foot, it is, as the foot becomes really weak. If you're doing okay, take another 5 each. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Good. Spreading the arms open, let the knees fall all the way to the left. Just relax as the spine is twisting. And feel how the right shoulder and the right arm are now the root. The rest of the spine is tilting away to an angle that feels comfortable and good. Two more breaths right here. The knees start to come back up, open up to the other side. Now it's left shoulder and left arm that are grounded as the knees go to the right. So those contrasting actions of shoulder down and then hip up. Doing 2 more deep breaths. Going in and out. And 1 more. Beautiful. As we return the knees back up, let the feet be on the ground. This next one's kind of a fun one to play with because it feels like we have wings that are lifting us away from the ground, always returning back down every time. But notice how you have to have something grounded in your body here in order to create the lift. So feel how the hips and 1 foot at a time is going to be that grounding, weighed down part of the pose. So what I want us to do is glue knees and thighs together, but then the right leg sticks out. So since they're glued, it's going to be lifting up at an angle. So from here, arms reach up overhead. Take a good inhale. Exhale, flap the arms like wings to the side. Try to lift as much of your back off the ground as possible and return back down. We're going to try to go for 6 more. Just lift it the best you can. A little bit of a crunch counts. That's how we build core strength. Here's 4. And 3. 2. And 1. Good. Drop the foot down. Take a little breath as a break. Good. When you're ready for left leg to stick out, we're going for lucky number 7. Inhale. Exhale, 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Drop the foot down. Relax the arms. Another breath or 2. Good. So this next one might not look like much more than kind of like a bug trying to get its head off the ground or something, but the idea is kind of the same thing, except for each time both feet drop down, and then each time we rise up, both legs try to extend out like a boat pose. It might even be a bent knee boat pose. That's okay. It's just the best that we can lift. We're going to try to go for 7. And again, if it's just like grabbing thighs and crunching a little bit, that still counts. So inhale. Exhale, legs and arms sweep up. And down. Here's 6. And 5. Full teaser essentially. 4. 3. 2. For the last one, however you can get to boat pose, come up to boat pose. Bent knees, arms hooked or not, straight legs, it's all up to you. We're holding in boat for a count of 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Start to bend the knees, grab onto ankles, set the heels into cobbler's pose.
You didn't even have one morning to stay.
It's all good. I know the muscles are so ready to just drop. Like, nope, that's it. That's all I have. You did awesome.
I think I'm calling your name.
I always tease with people, we've got restorative yoga on Friday if you're still sore by that point. So I'd love to see you there. This is a good spot, especially if there's neck tension from some of those lifting things. Just roll the head out left and right. This is what I love about Yogilates is no matter how strong or how weak you are, there's a way to get into the pose for everybody. And there's a way for everybody to get stronger. We all need to have a good core. Otherwise, bad posture starts to happen. And that starts to affect the quality of our spine, and that affects our organs. So all this work on core absolutely helps just the entire quality of our life. But just enjoy another breath. Let it flow in and out. Good. So as we sit back up here, what we're gonna do is pick up the knees, plant the hands behind us, and we're getting into some tricep dips like was requested. Exactly. Some people are like, I don't know if I want to request anything. Just keep it tipped. Yep. Okay, so lift the hips up. What we're doing is bending the elbows and then pressing the arms back straight. So if you can do 10, here's 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good work. Going back into a boat. Hands can be rested if you wish. This is going to be another round of bicycles where we're also flexing and pointing the toes as we go. So circle out and then point at the last moment. Here is 10, 9, 8. You can always come out early, that's allowed. 7, 6, 5, 4. Keep breathing. 3, 2, 1. Amazing. As we set the feet down, let them be a little bit bent. This helps our low back have a little bit of a stretch as we just relax and round forward. Nice and soft through the back. Rounding back up, the feet come wide, the feet are flexed. The arms reach up overhead. So this is the spot where we're turning to each time, kind of like we're pulling it in like a little lawnmower. So this is our inhale part. With our exhale, the arms tilt down, the legs straighten, the toes point, and we're tilting forward a little bit. So inhale, reach, the legs pulled back. Exhale, lengthen and lean. 10, 9, 8, 7, don't forget the toes at the end, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And this one you can stay. So if it feels nice to drop fingers to floor and push your spine forward, take it. If you like to instead just reach your arms forward and through, that's also great. Toes can be pointed or flexed, but be conscious about it. Pointed toes is really nice for stretching the front part of the foot, kind of the ankles and stuff. Flexed will get you into the calves a bit deeper. So choose what feels best and what you need most. We've got some good breaths. Don't worry, there's always an end to Yogilates. So sometimes we watch the clock a lot, that's okay. But the further it gets into class, the more stretches there are. So we're getting closer to that last segment. Take one more deep breath in. See if you can relax just a hair deeper for that last exhale. And then ease the journey back up. Take it to a simple cross-leg place. This one again, we'll get to our triceps. This one's kind of funny because you don't really feel it quite so intensely, but I've definitely gotten sore after this one. So the idea, is hands come up, we're touching hands together. We try to get it as much above our head as possible. And all we have to do is slowly bend the elbows. Hands come to touch the back of the head and then straighten back up. So take a nice exhale when you're bending the elbows. Inhale to straighten. Doing okay, let's take 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Lowering the arms down, let's come to a kneeling place. Yep, those breaths. A little hint, sometimes when we do hard things, we don't breathe through them, so keep breathing even through it. Go ahead and take 3 or so cat-cows, just gives the spine good mobility. It's a good life lesson too. We tend to stop breathing when things get really hard. So by learning this life lesson in Yogilates, I can breathe through hard things. It teaches us in life too. I can breathe through hard things. Good. So from here, you've got 2 options for dropping down to elbows. You can either slide the knees further out and lift up the toes for a kneeling plank variation, or tuck the toes and lift the knees up for full plank. So you choose. Try to keep the shoulders the same level as hips if you can. We're gonna do a slow count of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, you're doing amazing, we're almost there. 1. Good. Lower the hips down, separate the hands, Sphinx. Try to drag the hands towards you, which brings the belly forward and through to stretch. You can roll out the neck if there's tightness. Beautiful. So as we come back up, we're planting our hands under the shoulders. And this one will either be a high kneeling plank or lifting up the knees, normal plank. What we're doing for this set is right hand is going to touch left shoulder and drop down, left hand touches right shoulder, rocking back and forth. I'm going to do a count of 10 each if we can. If it gets too hard, drop your knees down and try to continue. So here's 10, 10, 9, 9, 8, 8, 7, 7, 6, 6, 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. Let the hips lower down, cobra. The toes can even flip. Beautiful. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Give the legs some good stretching, good length through hamstrings and calves. Let's start to slide the left foot forward. We're trying to stay balanced on the right toes. So if, when you start to come up, if balance is awful, the way to make it easier is separate with more distance. So right foot comes wider, that'll be easier. So try to float the arms up. Find your balance here. Touch the hands together again. So as we bend the back knee, we lower down a little bit and hands to the back side of the head, straighten back. Here's 9, 8, 7, keep breathing, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Before we switch, turn open to goddess, so let your toes swivel to the front door side. We're already squatting down, arms are open to the sides. Try to move more weight into the toes to let the heels lift. Trying to hold there for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's okay. Drop the heels down. Turn the toes directly forward to the long edge of the mat. And as we dive down into the wide angle forward fold, take your first 2 fingers around big toes. The big toe pushes down as the elbows bend out to allow the head to get closer and closer to the ground. So it's an aspect of grounding into the roots in order to create more length in the spine. Good. So starting to walk the hands up to the top of the mat. We're going to step back to plank or kneeling plank. We're going to try to aim for 10 or so push-ups. Push-ups take different speeds, and if 10 is impossible, that's okay. Drop down to knees. That'll make it easier. The idea is point elbows back rather than out. So it's not going outside, it's pulling back to ribs. Just go as low as you can and flex. It's okay if it's only a matter of inches. That's how we get stronger. 9, 8, keep breathing. 7, 6, drop to knees if it's hard. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. If you want a child for a moment before we switch sides, go ahead and take that rest. We got one more side, and that's all of our hard stuff for today. We're doing amazing. Like a little pat on our back right now. We're almost there. Good. So when you're ready, take it up to downward facing dog. A couple of stretches for the legs. Start to slide the right foot forward. So at that point where if you need to make it easier, create more separation so left foot sits wider. And you have balance, rise up. Feel how this front foot is correcting to try to stay in balance. So usually I need just a little bit of pressure in my big toe side to help me out. Good, so as we stretch up, hands come to touch. As we bend the back elbow, hands drop down. 10, straighten back up everything. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Turn open to goddess. Already squatting down. This time 5 times slowly. We'll do a lift of the heels and a slow lower. So when you're ready, slow count. Here's 5. Push your weight into the toes to create the lift. And soft lower. 4. 3. 2. Last one. Amazing work. Feel your quads on fire. Let's start to turn our toes back forward. Diving down, grabbing big toes. Invite the head lower and lower down. Good. Bending our knees to roll up. We're going to do a quad stretch before our last set of pull-up or push-ups. So walk your feet together. You can either balance away from wall or use the wall, your choice. We're standing on our left foot and we're trying to grab our right foot behind our back. So that way the quad can be stretching. So if you don't feel it, if you don't feel it, scoop the tailbone under a little bit or pull the knee back a little bit. Posture up also helps. Good little stretch for the quad. 2 more breaths. After the second breath, release, switch sides. And feel how your foot is also working to create that balance. It's something that our body has to do over and over and over again before we, can ensure that we're not going to take falls. So make sure you're in the quad stretch, knee back, tailbone under. A little baby, when they're learning to walk, they have to wobble so much. And then just in the wobble, the feet get strong. We're doing okay. One last inhale. Exhale, soft release. Okay, let's flow back to our last push-ups. Inhale. Exhale, drop down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands plant. Travel back to the plank or kneeling plank, whatever version you're going to do for your push-ups. Here's our last 10. Exhale, 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. Remember, elbows are back, not out. 4. 3. Amazing. 2. Last 1. Awesome work. Let's rest in a pigeon pose. So right leg swivels forward and through. Back knee scoots back. So this chance just to relax through the muscles. Starting to rock your weight onto right hip. Let the left leg swing through the side, coming all the way forward. We'll tuck that right foot up to that left leg. Inhale, circle arms up to sky. Exhale, try to reach for your root. One thing that might be useful as we're stretching over that straight leg is perhaps to include more than just hamstring. Maybe the ball of the foot gets pulled closer to the torso, so the calf is also right here in the stretch. Beautiful. Easy release to rise. We'll take a little twist. The knee is welcome to pop up. Grab the left hand onto that knee. Spiral the torso. Got one more side, so both legs swing around. Take that left knee under and through, pigeon. Those good deep breaths flowing. How much the body has calmed down because we're back to that slow, deep breath. Good. So when you're ready to switch, rock weight to the left hip so the right leg can swing to front. Got that left foot tucked to thigh. Reach up to sky, inhale. Exhale, feel the whole spine release. Amazing for hamstrings if you're also including calf, either muscularly or physically. Pull the ball of the foot toward the torso. More breaths here, deep and full. When we rise up, we can take that twist, pop the knee up, grab onto it, spiral the spine. One more breath, going in.
Shake a cough.
Out. Good. So this is starting our transition to Shavasana. If there's last stretches you want seated or laying, go ahead and take any last things at all. Keep on going all the way to the point where you feel comfortable, ready to release. You might be there immediately, or you might need a little bit more movement to get to that spot. So no pressure either way, it's whatever feels good. But sooner or later in our Shavasana, let's imagine once again, returning back to where we started, with Mother Earth just kind of hugging and embracing us. Feel the weight like a weighted blanket, calming the nervous system. Feel the grounding through any type of static electricity we might have gathered around us. Feel the muscles just relaxing. Here, let's begin to deepen inhales. Nice long exhales. Introduce little movements back to the body. Stretching out in ways that feel really nice. Perhaps a fetal position if that feels good for our body today. Let there be no rush coming up and out. It's like a root slowly works its way into the earth. Like that's how we're waking up. So maybe another full 3 or 4 good slow breaths. Whenever we're ready to be up sooner or later, the hands join together in front of the heart. And once again, we feel ourselves connecting to the ground. We feel every part of our root system that is touching the earth. And around our heart, we imagine rich soils fertilized from amazing past friendships, and soils ready to grow new friendships. So with these soils and these roots to lead us on, let's allow ourselves to wrap up the time that we shared together with the sound of Om. Deep inhale now. Om. May we be filled with light, happiness, and peace. Namaste.